Evening. It's day 17 of Sober for October, and it's Derek Reynolds again, keeping up my daily dose of vitamin H2O, and lovely bit of tap there, lovely bit of tap, and it's nice and cold as well. Cold and it reminds me as we head into winter now. Reminds me of one year when I ended up in the Siberian wilderness. Now it was my mate Trevor's stag do, you see, and he's the guy. He lives on top of the electrical shop in Haverfordwest. He wasn't living there at the time. He was living with his wife at the time. It was back in '93, and his wife Sheila, his soon to be wife, and he had this crazy idea to go to the Siberian wilderness, for his stag do, so we ended up out there. And we ended up joining up with a team from the University of Moldova, and they were doing an archaeological dig out there, and this was when all the permafrost had started melting away, and it was a treasure trove. It was a treasure trove down there. And I sort of had my eye open because I thought, we could get some prehistoric butterflies here. I'd heard there were a few knocking about in Siberia, and then one night, we're all drinking vodka and playing cards, having a great time. And one of the professors from the University of Moldova, he fell in a peat bog and died. And and everyone's going, oh no, this is going to really taint the whole dig here. It's going to overshadow all the good work we've done here. And then as they're dragging out the drunken professor's body, we spotted this little almost perfectly preserved moth. It turns out it was a woolly moth. Right, about 10,000 years old. 10,000 years it's been lying in this peat bog, and and everyone's like, oh, this is something exciting. This is a new discovery. We haven't seen one of these in years. The only one there is in the National History Museum in Moscow, and so everyone's like, this is an important discovery. And then who do we know who we can trust, to look after this moth? And I was like, it'll be me. I'll look after this moth. So I wrapped it up in cling film, took it back on the plane back to my wildlife sanctuary, and I just had this wild idea that I could revive it. It was almost, I mean, you don't pass up that opportunity, do you? So I took it down to my secret lab, and Pete from the garden shop was there. He handed me the pliers and the defibrillator, and we had a good go on the woolly moth, and as it started to thaw out, we thought we might be onto something here. We shoved like a 1,000-volt wire into its rectum essentially. And Bob's your uncle, the thing came alive, and of course at that point, all the electrics were going haywire, and the windows exploded, and the moth escaped, and one thing leads to another, and suddenly it's all in the press that all these birds are going missing, and all these pigeons are being found dead, and these crows are being found dead, and there's a couple of sparrows with no heads, and everyone's getting really scared. The local press is really blowing things out of proportion, and and everyone's saying there's a crazed serial killer on the loose. Now, of course, as it turns out, the woolly moth is a well-known, carnivorous moth, and it is ravenous. Well, I mean, wouldn't you be if you had been, stuck in the permafrost for 10,000 years? You'd be starving. So then they've got all these experts on the news saying, well, we don't know what it could be. It could be human. It could be some sort of creature. They're saying, just to be safe, keep your kids locked up inside, And then this other guy comes in. This guy he's a specialist in, serial animal murderers, and he says, the only time I've ever experienced something like this is when I used to live in Siberia, and there was a local legend that spoke of this crazed hunting woolly moth that used to rampage through the villages, and it used to steal livestock, and there were locals there who swore they'd seen it take a whole cow. And people said, I used to snatch babies from cots and all this, and there I am going, oh yeah, it's probably a fox, So that was the woolly moth. I don't know what happened to that. It sort of left a trail of death in its wake, and never seen again. Thank you if you've been watching these stories. If you'd like to donate to Macmillan Cancer Support, follow the link, chip in a £5, £10, it all goes to a good cause, all goes to a good cause. So, please, if you'd like to do that, that'd be great. I'm only £100 off my target now, so if I could get 20 people to drop in a £5, that'd be the ticket. Or, I could have, 10 people drop in a tenner, or whatever you want to do, really. Give as much as you can, give as much as you want, it's up to you. But thank you for watching my hydrated adventures, here's to your health, good health to all.